Let's talk about prophecies, visions of the future, recorded in the set of sacred scrolls. Let's talk about that. What were their prophecies? What were their visions of the future? The visions of the future were the inevitability of the victory of the good entity over the evil entity, right? So, these are the end times. Armageddon is imminent. Judgment Day is nigh. Right? What's Armageddon again? It's a final, necessary, horrible war. Right? It's supposed to be the final war, and after that, everything's going to be great because the good entity will have final victory over the evil entity, and the whole earth will once again be under the control of the good entity. So one thing that's very common about well, let's not go off onto that yet. We'll get to that. So now how does that translate into predictions about the future here on planet Earth in the material plane? What does that suggest about their beliefs about the future here on the material plane? What it suggests is they believe, or that a few paranoid, oppressive, violent people who rule over domestic territories will have final victory over the outsiders who rule over foreign territories. Meaning what? Meaning the few paranoid, oppressive, violent people will rule over the entire earth. And once they've done that through a final, necessary, horrible war, then the few paranoid, oppressive, violent people will judge all people. So let's talk about this judgment of all people. What's going to happen then, supposedly? Well, according to so-called prophets, whose visions of the future were recorded in a set of sacred scrolls by religious authority figures, according to these so-called prophets, the good entity will judge all people. Some people will be found to have observed and obeyed the will of the good entity. Those people will be rewarded. Those people will enjoy an afterlife in a place of divine eternal bliss. Some people will be found to have disregarded and disobeyed the will of the good entity. Some people will be found to have observed and obeyed the will of the evil entity. Those people will be cast down and suffer an afterlife of abominable infernal torment. So now how does that myth suggest the truth about their predictions about the future? Well, their pessimistic myth suggests they believe a few paranoid, oppressive, violent people will judge all people and will reward and punish people in accordance to whether or not they observed and obeyed the will of the few paranoid, oppressive, violent people. Those people who observed and obeyed the will of the good entity, those people who disregarded and disobeyed the will of the evil entity, will be elevated to a place of safety and refuge. The place of safety and refuge will be a haven on earth. They'll be protected from the violent behaviors of the few paranoid, oppressive, violent people. While those people who disregarded and disobeyed the will of the few paranoid, oppressive, violent people. Those people who observed and obeyed the will of the outsiders will be cast down to a place of danger and exposure. A place of danger and exposure will be a hell on earth. Some of those people will work as slaves under horrendous conditions until they drop dead of either disease or starvation, or maybe both. And some of them will be murdered upon arrival, those that are not considered to be, useful slaves. Guess what? We've already seen this happen on planet Earth before, haven't we? This is human nature we're talking about here. We've seen it happen in the 20th century. Study history. You'll see that I'm telling you the truth.